So a couple of months ago, there was an issue that occurred between the South Africans and some citizens in the U.S. Right now, it seems to have been caused by this kind of like a Zulu parade. They called the Mardi Gras. I think they did that in New Orleans. And well, I didn't know that they had like Zulus in the U.S. So yeah, so that was the problem, right? There was a kind of friction between them and the Zulus, and uh, these guys were kind of different though, even their looks and stuff. It's kind of different. It's kind of like a mixture of cultures. These are the Zulus, right? But regardless, the real Zulus of South Africa were very angry, and not just the Zulus themselves, but the whole of South Africa, right, including even other tribes and even white people. And most of them are angry, and the people from the US, they didn't know why. Like, why are you angry at us? What have you done? So I'm going to share with you like what angered these people, because maybe there might have been a misunderstanding there. So now, according to the Zulus in New Orleans, what the whole kind of Mardi Gras thing, so they've been doing this for about 112 years, right? And that is when the movement was formed. So, according to some people, the movement was kind of formed to be like, I don't know, a counterweight, something. There was some sort of a clash between those people and white people. So, white people had their own parade, right? And the black people in the New Orleans wanted to kind of counter that. So, I think the white people's parade kind of mocked the black people in that area, so they just wanted to get back at them. So that I think they formed this kind of a Zulu parade. Now, of course, they know exactly like why they call themselves Zulu, because they reference that parade from the Zulus that are in South Africa. I think they admitted to that. So again, as I said, like most of the people that are in the states, of course, were former slaves, right? And they grew around that place. They lost in touch with some of the roads and stuff. So they had to kind of like create something to kind of celebrate and cultures and stuff. I don't know, but that is what they say. And the Zulus themselves are basically an old tribe, right? They've been here for centuries and centuries. So I don't think they do understand in particular what the reasons why there are some people that call them Zulus in New Orleans, right? Now, Zulus, just like any tribe in Africa, being a Zulu is more of an identity, right? This is how a person identify themselves, right? The Zulus, the Vendors, and all these other tribes. Now, Zulus are basically part of the Nguni family, and in the Nguni, there are different tribes there. There are Ndebeles, there are Xhosas, there are Swazis. So this is kind of those languages. So they do share some of similar traits in terms of their cultural aspects, elements, and stuff. Yeah, so they do take their culture with pride. Now, in the US, most of the people, of course, that are in the US, with the whole slave trade thing, it's unlikely that most of them came from the southern side of Africa. I'll say most of them came from Ghana, West Africa, maybe in the, I don't know, Central Africa, maybe some Kenya, something like that. I don't know. So they do not have much of a blood from the Zulus, but either way, they just created this as kind of a gimmick. So I think this is what causes friction. So because the Zulus don't understand what the hell is happening there. I'll say some even people from America do not understand what they don't understand there's those parade in the New Orleans. So there are some Americans that they didn't even know what the hell is happening there. So I think Zulus did not understand what the parade is all about, and they saw people with black faces and they thought, these people are actually mocking us. But for them, though, it's not that they do not want people to be part of this really, because so tribes in Africa are something that kind of gives a person an identity, right? In Africa, we don't say you are black and that because almost everybody is black. So it's all about like which tribe are you, right? They say that tribe, nation, then I don't know, maybe race. So it's all about tribe, right? Which tribe are you? The surnames, all those kind of things. That's what identify a person. And for most Americans that don't understand, they think that maybe Zulus hate them and stuff, and why are these white people actually fighting us along the Zulus, and why are white people, being embraced or being allowed to wear traditional Zulu attire. As I've said, like in Africa, guys, most people were black, right? I'll say before the Europeans came to Africa, most people were black. So the only way to identify yourself is to be part of a tribe. So tribes in Africa were not created with a kind of racial motivation or racial, any racial consideration, because as I said, they were black people only. So how do people identify themselves or separate themselves? You had to be part of tribe. So, which means that anybody can be either a Zulu, a Venda, a Tsonga, regardless of their skin, right? It's all about embracing the cultural elements. So you'll be shocked that in South Africa there are certain things that will be frowned upon in the US. There are some people, white people actually, that don't even have white names, right? They do have tribal names, Zulu names, Venda names, and they do practice the culture. It might shock you. In America, it can be frowned upon because in America, the whole thing about it being black, right, is racial motivated. Is racially motivated. Being white, being Mexican, being all those things. Those cultures were created mostly by black people to kind of have something that they can identify themselves with, something that gives them that pride. Like for example, the hip hop, all the music itself, certain dressing styles, and all those kind of things. So you can't, right? You can't, if you're a white person and stuff, try to kind of adopt those elements because they are made for black people. So because of the war, racism, slavery, and other things. While it's in Africa is different, right? Any person, whether a white person, can be associated with any tribe, right? Anybody that adopts the cultural values of that tribe can become part of the tribe. So you'll be shocked if you come to South Africa and see people wearing some stuff, like cultural stuff. You'll be asking yourself, like, why are they not angry at these people? Right. And again, even if you marry like a wife, or maybe it's a white wife and stuff, they are expected to be or to adopt the culture of that particular tribe. Right. Even before white people came to Africa, South Africa, different tribes actually used to marry from each other. Right? The woman, when it goes, they go to the husband, they have to kind of embrace the husband's culture and other things. So that is why you see that most tribes are generally acceptive of anybody as long as they're part of the tribe, right? Because the whole point of the tribe is to make the tribe grow. So that is why you see most of Africans are kind of happy when someone becomes part of their tribe, whether they're white or whether they're a little bit different, right? There are some people that do have like a hatred. Right? There are people that do have a hatred of other people becoming, for example, white people becoming part of a tribe, but the general few, right? I think the reason behind this has to do with colonization and other kind of things. So they kind of have a different opinion. Okay, fine, this thing is a black thing, right? Because come on, back then nobody knew whether they were black or white until the white folks arrived. Now, as you can see that there are a lot of white people. There's this guy called Leon Schuster, which is in this picture right now, wearing like a traditional gear with the stick and the stuff. Now, this guy is one of the, I think, most popular actors in South Africa, and he's one of the most loved actors. And he played a lot of roles, right? And some of them, like this Mama Jack, is the same guy. Now, this thing will be frowned upon in America. That's for sure. When I'm American, white person actually playing a black guy, yeah, it must be, it can be frowned upon. But here is actually very loved and, is very much appreciated. So that is the issue. So it's not that South Africans, Africans hate Americans, black Americans for kind of imitating their culture and stuff. It's just that they don't want it, their culture being kind of, butchered or bastardized. Even Americans can be part of African culture, but they can be part of, any culture in Africa. In fact, everybody is welcome. It's just that you have to respect that culture and its values. If you do that, you won't have any problem. So again, that's basically what is happening, guys. And I hope you do understand why such events happened and why some of these Zulus were angry, because they do take their culture with pride, right? So do not bastardize them. White people basically are very much appreciated, especially if they're part of a tribe, that particular tribe. So we've got white Zulus in South Africa. So that is why maybe there was a kind of attack from the white side, because yeah, this part of their culture is they very support it much, and they don't want some of their culture so they bastardize. So guys, that's basically about it. So I hope this video kind of addresses certain things that people didn't know about, the cultures in South Africa or maybe in Africa in general. That you don't bastardize somebody else's culture. Right? You don't do that. It's like the N word, right? It's like someone coming and call you the N word in America. You're going to get angry. Yeah, you get angry when people call you N word. So the same thing with culture is very sensitive. So if you bastardize someone's culture, yeah, they are going to have a problem. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and again, see you on the next one.
Business plans, company profiles, letterheads, resumes, and proposals. All these are very important in setting up your business and yourself for success. Hi, my name is Koliambez and I'm a business writer, designer, and consultant. I specialize in crafting professional business documents and also offering consultancy services for different businesses across industries. The documents are well written, well researched, and professionally designed to suit each and every business needs. Now, get ready to stand out from competition and get your documents done today. You can reach out to me using the provided details, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.